Please adhere to YouTube's selected guidelines before viewing the content of this video. I do not encourage or condone any products, actions, or behaviors shown in this video. All videos are produced in a safe, professional, and controlled environment. Please do not attempt to replicate any actions performed during the video. All actions are performed by professionals.
Alrighty, so today I, an American cigarette smoker, am going to be trying real British tea for the first time. To be precise, today I'm going to be trying, drinking, and reviewing some Twinings Earl Grey tea from the United Kingdom, which was kindly contributed by one of y'all. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. As a whole, I am very excited to try some real British tea for the first time, as I am curious to find out just what this stuff will be like, how it will be, and whether it will be different than the tea that I'm used to as an American, which is of course tea sold in the United States. Will this stuff be different? Will it be exactly the same? I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out, and I'm also looking forward to finally doing my civil duty as an American. And by that I mean finally dumping some British tea in some water, which has been a long-held tradition in the United States. I am quite excited to drink some British tea for the first time today, to say the least. And, well, I do suppose without further ado, I should probably go ahead and start covering what makes this tea actually British. After I cover that, I do think I should probably go ahead and get this box all opened up. I should probably go ahead and get one of the tea bags all out, let you guys know what the smell and quality of the tea bags is actually like. Then after that, I think I should probably go ahead and go get some water ready, bring it out here when it's all heated up and whatnot. And then after that, I think I should probably go ahead and dump some British tea in my American water, and I should probably go ahead and, after I'm done infusing the American water with some British tea, go ahead and get to actually drinking, well, British tea for the first time, and find out just how it is, what it's like, and what I think of it, and whether I think it's good or not. And, well, after I'm done drinking, I think I'm going to have to give you guys my final thoughts on this tea and give it a rating as well. But, as said, first off, we've got to cover what makes this tea itself British. Of course, Twinings as a brand is sold in the United States itself, but this box of tea itself is British tea, because this box of tea is from Britain. In fact, it's just from the United Kingdom as a whole, to be completely honest with y'all. And while it doesn't say that this is real British tea or anything like that, just distinctly on the front of the packaging, this packaging itself is different than Twinings packaging in the United States. The first sign we see that this box came from the United Kingdom, though, is the bottom of the box. We can see, for one, it just says 100 gram right there. That's not something you'd see in the United States. From what I know, at least, maybe you would, probably not. I'm not exactly sure, in all honesty. Maybe you would actually see that. But the main thing that we want to pay attention to on the bottom of the box is the best before date and the code right below it. So we can see that this tea is best before January 2026, and then under that it just says UK 024 1216. UK, I assume, means that this tea is meant for the UK market. So that is the first sign that this tea is from the United Kingdom. The second and third signs that this tea is from the United Kingdom can be found on this side of the box right here. With this text right here, we can see it just says, call us at this number or visit twinings.co.uk. So we know that this stuff is meant for the UK market, because they're specifically saying twinings.co.uk, not just twinings.com. Or write us at our twinning company, Limited Southway, Andover, Hampshire, SP10 5AQ. I'm assuming Twinings would probably say their American headquarters if this was some other or whatever country this tea was from, headquarters kind of thing. But they're saying specifically their UK headquarters, so we can tell that this is a UK box of tea due to that as well. And then under that, we can see right here that it just says the finest imported teas and ingredients blended and packed in Hampshire. So the tea itself, of course, is not grown in Britain, but it is, technically speaking, manufactured and packed in Britain and Hampshire, to be precise. So yes, this stuff is indeed real British tea. And, well, now that I've covered that, I think I'm just going to go ahead and cover the packaging real quick. Overall, the packaging looks pretty decent in my personal opinion. Packaging on the front, I mean, like, it looks pretty decent in my personal opinion. It doesn't look bad by any means. The side right here, basically just talking about the history of Earl Grey and how it was first invented in 1831 and how Twinings supposedly created Earl Grey based on the request of the Prime Minister of the time. They say that Earl Grey is a delicate tea with a delicious twist and citrusy bergamot, or of citrusy bergamot, I do suppose is really the right way of putting it. And then it's basically they're just advertising their decaf version, as well as this is not the decaf version, of course. Then they're just talking about the history of Twinings and not talking about how tea was not ethically grown and ethically made for a very long time. But they're really big on promoting that they are really big on doing it ethically these days. That is for sure. Of course, they're huge on talking about that 100%. Then we can just see that there's like a website down there and everything like that kind of thing. And then we can just see they've got some instructions and whatnot. I'm surprised they feel the need to leave instructions for tea on the boxes of tea in the UK. I mean, like, tea is kind of what the UK is known for. Not to be too stereotypical, but they are known, the UK, Britain, no offense if y'all are from the UK or Britain, but y'all are known stereotypically for really enjoying tea and everything like that kind of thing and everywhere else around the world. So I'm surprised they feel the need to leave instructions on the back of the box, but they do nonetheless. It's just something I figured everybody is just kind of born with that knowledge, but maybe not, you know what I'm saying? But it just says, let the tea bag gently infuse and freshly. Everybody is born with the knowledge to make a cup of tea in the UK, of course, 100%. Just like every American is born with the knowledge of how to shoot a gun and everything like that. That's not true at all. Maybe we're born with the knowledge of how to shoot a gun, but we're not born with the knowledge of gun safety. That's what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. But it just says, let the tea bag gently infuse in freshly boiled water in your favorite cup for 2 to 3 minutes. We'll leave the milk and sugar up to you. Today, I'm not going to be using any milk or sugar. I drink my tea straight, and I'm going to be drinking this tea straight as well. And then after that, we can see it just says, pop your tea bag into your food waste bin. These tea bags are certified industrially compostable, which is pretty nice if I do say so myself. But moving on to the top, it's basically just Twinings Earl Grey, and that's pretty much all there is to the packaging as a whole. Well, overall, not bad looking packaging by any means. Definitely a little bit different than Earl Grey packaging in the United States, though, I will readily acknowledge. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get this box of tea all opened up if I could possibly figure out how to do this. I don't know how to do this. I am an American after all. This definitely probably has like some sort of American lock on it or something like that kind of thing, so Americans can't open it up. And I think I just absolutely butchered that. I'm pretty sure I just absolutely butchered that, but it is what it is. I'm not too stressing about it. But let's go and get that opened up, and we can see there is a massive foil bag on the inside right here. It just says Twinings Earl Grey just all over it, and I guess all the tea bags are in here. I guess they're not individually packaged. A lot of tea in the United States is individually packaged, just in individual tea bags. Not this tea, though, I do suppose. Very interesting if I do say so myself. Maybe it's individually packaged inside this foil. I'm not exactly sure. It is not individually packaged inside the foil. Okay, that's very interesting, and they're also strapped together, and there's no string on them? Wait, what? Wait, what? Oh man, this is this is actually different. Yeah, I was like literally low-key expecting the exact same thing, just with like slightly different packaging or something like that kind of thing. But no, this is actually genuinely different. This tea, like tea in America always, pretty much no matter what, has strings on it so you can pull out of the water really easily and stuff like that kind of thing. This has no string on it. It's not individually packaged. Yeah, most tea in America is individually packaged, and most tea in America, I've never seen tea in America that doesn't have a string on it. So this is definitely interesting, to say the least. This is definitely interesting. I really was not expecting that. I'm gonna go ahead, put this down just for a moment, and just put this stuff back in the box, just so don't forget to put it back or anything like that kind of thing. But I'm just gonna go and put that back just like that, if I possibly can. Hopefully that will work. I definitely murdered the box just a little bit, but it's okay, you know what I'm saying? It's okay. But now that I have gotten the tea all out, and now that I've noted some differences, like this is a really big pack of tea too. This is huge. Like, tea bags in the United States are not this big. They're not this big by any means. No string, huge bag, not individually packaged either. This is different. This is different, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was not expecting that, but this is actually quite different. And smelling-wise, it smells very, very, very nice. It's got, well, a very tea-like, citrusy sweet, sort of honey-like. I'd have to say there's very much like a... Yeah. I'd have to say there's a very nice sort of citrusy, sweet, honey-like, tea-like scent with a little bit of some sort of other herbal sort of undertone in there. I assume that other sort of herbal undertone is probably the bergamot. I don't exactly know what bergamot is, I'll acknowledge, but I assume that's probably what it is. But yeah, no, that sort of honey-like, sweet, citrusy, almost sort of lemon-like, sort of tea-like smell with a little bit of herbal. Smells fantastic, to say the least. This tea smells really, really, really good. And honestly, I think it might smell a bit more intensely than American tea. Not like significantly more intensely, but maybe a little bit more. Although I've never really smelled American tea to any full degree. Definitely not as much as I'm doing right now, so do take what I say with a grain of salt. Either way, though, this stuff is smelling fantastic, and I'm thinking it should make probably some pretty good tea based off of the smell. But I do think, without further ado, now that I've covered what actually makes this tea British, and now that I've covered some of the differences between this British tea and American tea, and now that I've covered the smell of this, I think it's time for me to go and quickly cover the quality. The quality seems pretty decent. Doesn't seem like this packet is going to fall apart in my cup by any means. But now that I've covered all that, I do think it's now time for me to go ahead and go warm up a cup of water. And I think it's time for me to go ahead and after that, actually put some tea in the water, and then after that, actually get to drinking, well, British tea for the first time as an American cigarette smoker. I'm gonna go and put this tea bag back in here real quick, just for the moment, just so it doesn't fly away or anything like that kind of thing. And now that I have done that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and go get some water. This might hurt some of y'all. I don't have a kettle. I don't have a water heater. For tea, microwave my water and I put the tea bag in afterwards. That's probably hurting some of y'all, but that's what I'm doing today. I'll be back in just a moment, y'all. I'll be back with my hot water, to be precise. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Alrighty, y'all. I now have my cup of hot water, as we can see. I'm gonna go ahead and real quick, before I put the tea bag in, and just move the camera just a little bit further away so y'all can actually see me put the tea bag in and whatnot. Just move it back just even a little bit more, I do think, just like that. And now, I do think it is time for me to go ahead and get this tea right here all back out of the box. And I think it's time for me to finally do my civil duty as an American. It's time for me to finally dump some real British tea into the harbor. And by that, I mean this cup of hot water right here. And then after that, I think it's time for me to go ahead and drink some British tea for the first time. Without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and put this tea in the water just like that. And let's let it infuse, I think, for 2.5 minutes. I'm gonna go for 2.5 minutes. I think that's what the box said. It said like 2 to 3 minutes. So I'm gonna go and set a stopwatch on my watch for 2.5 minutes around about. I'm gonna try to pay attention to it just a little bit. But overall, you know, so far, I'm expecting pretty good things. So far. Just gonna have a little bit of a palate refresher real quick. Gonna have some normal water real quick. Wanna make sure that I'm only tasting the real British tea I want to taste today, not anything else, of course. Just gonna go ahead and kind of mix it around just a little bit as well. Now, I'm figuring the reason why these bags probably don't have any strings on them, I'm sure they probably do sell. I've never been to the UK myself, so I'm not sure. Maybe strings are not a thing on bags of tea in the UK. I figure they probably are, though. But I'm thinking this box is probably... I'm figuring the tea inside this box is probably meant to be used with one of those like infusers and stuff like that. Like you could it's got like a clasp, and then you put the tea in it, and then you like put it in like that kind of thing. I'm thinking it's probably meant to be used with one of those or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but that's my personal guess at least. How long has it been though? How long has it been? has been 1.5 minutes so far. I'm going for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So we have about a minute left. Ooh. It's smelling very nice. It's smelling very nice. I am seeing some bits of tea kind of floating around in the water just a little bit. Not too much, but maybe a little bit more than American tea, I'll acknowledge. You know, it just adds a little bit of texture to the drink. Just adds a little bit of texture to the drink, you know what I'm saying? All right, we have about 30 seconds. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take the tea bag out. Once that 30 seconds is up, I'm just gonna kind of stir it around just a little bit more. But overall, stuff is smelling very good. And I'm getting a very similar scent to what I got just from the straight tea bag itself. I'm getting very much out of a sort of honey-like, sort of citrusy, almost sort of like lemony sort of scent with a little bit of just tea sort of scent as well. And then a little bit of sort of herbal in the background too. Oh, and there is 2 minutes and 30 seconds right there. I think somebody's trying to drift in my neighborhood right now. Somebody's trying to do donuts, y'all. Somebody's doing donuts in the background of this video, but there we go. I'm just gonna go ahead and take the tea out. I'm just gonna go ahead and just do that. I'm just gonna put it down on the table over here, and I'm just gonna dip my finger in, just see what the temperature of this tea is like. Is it too hot for me right now? I think it's about good, honestly. I think it's about right. Well, I do think, without further ado, I'm gonna go and move the camera back to where it was, roundabout at least. And I do think now it is time for me, an American cigarette smoker, to finally drink some British tea for the first time. Without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and take a sip of this tea right here, and let's go ahead and find out just what, how, and whether I like British tea or not. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Okay, that was still a bit hot. That was still a bit hot, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. Very small sip, nice flavor, but I can't say based off that sip whether it's different than the Earl Grey I've tried in the past. But I can say that it's nice. Not bad by any means, as you would expect. It's not bad tea by any means. I think while I'm waiting for this to cool down just a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and try to grab myself just a little bit of a thumbnail for the video. Let's see if I can do that. I did kind of ruin this box, but I do want to grab myself a little bit of a thumbnail, so I'm gonna try to do that if I possibly can. So I'm gonna do that, and then how do I want to try to grab myself a little bit of a screenshot? I'm thinking, yeah, like that. Trying to think of like a good way to actually like showcase that I'm holding like tea in that there's tea in this right now, but I just can't think of really any. Well, hopefully one of those will do as a screenshot for the thumbnail of this video. Let's go and try it again. And that's much better now. It's still a bit warm, but it's much better now. And the flavor itself is very nice. It's definitely, like, I did not add any sugar, I did not add any milk or anything like that kind of thing. I drink my tea straight. I drink my American tea straight. I drink all the tea I drink straight. And of course, I'm drinking this straight as well. And the flavor right off the bat is sweeter than not. Now, Earl Grey, in my personal experience, in my personal opinion, is a sweeter tea than not, due to that sort of honey-like, citrusy sort of flavor to it. And this is definitely, I'm like, you can tell it's Earl Grey. It's got that very sort of honey-like, sweet, citrusy, almost sort of slightly lemony, herbally sort of tea flavor to it. It tastes very good as a whole. Tastes very good as a whole. Does it taste different than I'm used to? I'm not sure about that quite yet. And are there any other flavor notes that I'm missing? Very smooth, of course. Very nice mouthfeel. Sort of just like heavy water mouthfeel, I'd have to say. I've never actually drank heavy water itself, but I imagine this is what the mouthfeel of heavy water would be like. Yeah, overall, very nice taste, very nice flavor. I'm trying to think what I want to say flavor-wise, because the flavor is as I was expecting. It's as it is. It's not all that dissimilar from just Earl Grey I've tried in the past, frankly put. Which is, I've tried Earl Grey from the United States and from Japan so far, so I've tried Earl Grey from 2 different countries. Probably more than that in all honesty, but I'm just not sure. Just can't say whether that's true or not. But it tastes like Earl Grey. It's good. I like Earl Grey. Earl Grey is like my favorite tea. I like Earl Grey. And this stuff's pretty good too. Is it really different than the Earl Grey that I'm used to? Honestly, I'm not sure. Like, I really want to say there is a difference. I really do. But I'm really not sure if there is, frankly put. I'm really not sure if there is. If anything, the sweetness and honey-like flavor, it might actually be a bit less intense. If anything, it could just be the size of the cup I've got with me today, because different sizes of cup really do make a huge difference in the flavor of tea you get. Because, of course, if you have a smaller cup with less water, the tea is going to be more intense flavor-wise in that cup. This is a bigger, wide-mouth cup with just more volume. I like using this cup for tea because I like drinking a lot of tea kind of thing. But in a different cup, the tea might taste slightly different. That's just the thermodynamics of tea just explained right there. The liquid dynamics of tea and infusion right there, to say it correctly. We're talking about nuclear physics right now, except it's tea. This is some complex stuff. But I feel like maybe the sweetness of the tea itself might be a little bit less intense, but not significantly less intense. I mean, like, if you told me to guess side by side, okay, is this American Earl Grey or is this British Earl Grey? Excuse me. And both of them are made by Twinings, I don't think I would be able to tell you the difference. I really don't think I would be able to, frankly put. Just trying to think if there's really any difference that I've noticed. Yeah. No, it's nice though. It's a very nice, mild, yet full flavor. It's very much a medium flavor. It's not the fullest flavor tea I've ever had. It's definitely not as full flavored as some other drinks. And I can definitely feel some caffeine coming in. I don't drink caffeine very often. And this definitely has caffeine in it. Not a lot, not as much as like a cup of coffee or an energy drink, but I just don't drink caffeine that much. So I can definitely feel the caffeine kind of coming in. If I can feel some energy kind of coming in. But it's a very nice, very smooth, very, very, very smooth, sort of medium to full flavored taste with a very nice flavor of, I'd have to say, Yeah, the scent is a bit deceiving. The scent you get mainly, predominantly sort of honey with citrus and a little bit of herbal, and then tea after that. But the main flavor itself is tea. The main flavor itself is tea. So you get that very much sort of tea-like flavor. Then under that, you get a little bit of that, Okay, yeah, I'd have to say it's like tea, then a little bit of herbal, then a little bit of honey and citrus. Yeah, I'd have to say that's right. I'd have to say that's kind of the flavor from intensity. I'd have to say that's about right. Yeah, in my personal opinion, the flavor of the British Earl Grey I'm drinking today is very much that of a, tea, herbal flavor, which is probably the bergamot. And then after that, you've got the sort of honey-like sweetness, which is really nice, just a very nice, mild sweetness. And then after that, you've got that sort of citrusy sort of sweetness as well, which is a little bit lemon-like, but not really much. Not like putting a lemon slice in your sweet tea or anything like that kind of thing by any means. Now, this stuff is nice. I like it. I like this tea. And would I drink this tea again? I would. No, 100%. This is good stuff. I like it. I really can't discern any difference between this and an American Earl Grey, though. If I had to say one difference, it might just be in my head, but if I had to say one difference, I do think that this tea is less sweet. One of my things with Earl Grey is that I think Earl Grey is one of those teas that I used to drink it with sugar, but once I cut out sugar in my tea, I started really noticing the flavors of my tea. And Earl Grey is one of those teas where I genuinely do not think you need sugar with it. It's just naturally sweet kind of thing, just as it is. And I feel the same way about this, but I do honestly feel like I do kind of feel like the American Twinnings Earl Grey, and just the Earl Grey I've tried from the United States in general, is generally a little bit sweeter than this. I do feel like this might be a little bit more mild. It might be the size of the cup I'm using. I'm not sure. It might just be me just thinking that. But I do kind of feel like this might be a little bit more mild, sweetness-wise. Not flavor-wise, but sweetness-wise. And that's really the only difference I'm noticing. Maybe. I don't even know if I'm really noticing that as a difference, frankly put. I'm looking for differences. I'm desperately trying to find differences, and so it would not surprise me at all if that is all in my head, frankly put. But I think the question that we've all been waiting for an answer to, is whether British tea, real British tea, pairs well with one of these. Does it pair well? Let's find out, y'all. Let's find out. This is Manitou number 9. Let's go ahead and get this out of my pocket as well, and let's go ahead and find out whether real British tea pairs well with a good old little bit of a sip and drink as well, you know what I'm saying? Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? Now, I chose this specific drink today because it's got a very nice sort of, I'd have to say, honey-like sweet, citrusy flavor to it. And, of course, so does Earl Grey. So let's take a sip. So I figured they would probably pair pretty nicely. And let's take a sip. And yeah, so they do. They pair fantastically, I ain't gonna lie. They really do pair quite well. That is quite nice. That is quite nice, yeah. No, I think I can confirm. British tea does pair pretty well with American drinks, such as this one right here. Cannot complain. And I'm feeling great right now. It has been genuinely actually quite a while since the last time I had tea. It's been a couple months, about probably 2 or 3 months since the last time I had tea. I cut out caffeine, so I cut out tea as well. This has been the first time I've had caffeine tea, or it's been the first time I've had caffeine. I've had some caffeine in like rum and cokes and stuff. But it's been a while since the last time I had tea, to say the least. and it's been a while since I've had a little bit of a stogie with any tea, and this is really nice. This is very pleasant. I love having one of these with one of these. Cannot complain, y'all. Cannot complain. Good times. Good stuff. Good stuff. One thing I am definitely noticing, there's a decent amount of particulate in the bottom of my cup. I don't think y'all can see that really on camera. I'd have to say there's probably a bit more particulate than from an American tea bag, but it's not really significant. There's still particulate from American tea bags. There might be a little bit more, but not that much more. That was quite nice. The tea at the very bottom definitely got a little bit even less sweet. It was definitely sweeter at the top, and it got less and less sweet as you went towards the bottom of it, which, not bad by any means, in my personal opinion, but you can definitely tell the sort of bergamot flavoring and the natural lemon flavoring with other natural flavorings as well, which I assume is probably honey if I had to guess. You can definitely tell those flavorings kind of float towards the top, with the actual tea flavor being more towards the bottom. Definitely just got a little bit less sweet and a little bit more unflavored towards the bottom. But overall, a very, very, very nice cup of tea. I gotta admit, very nice cup of tea. I'm very glad I did my civil duty as an American, and I dumped some tea into the harbor of my cup today. But you know, even as an American, I gotta give the British tea some credit. It was good stuff. It was good stuff. I really liked it. Now, I am by no means a tea connoisseur. But this is some decent tea. I like this tea. This is good stuff. I like it. It's not like the greatest tea in the world, I imagine. I'm sure there's better tea out there. Excuse me. I'm sure there's like better tea out there. And I definitely do want to try a bunch of tea varieties. I want to try some Darjeeling, to be precise. I say Darjeeling to be precise because that was in an episode of Phineas and Ferb, where Phineas's stepdad and Ferb's dad is having a midlife crisis due to a Doofenshmirtz machine. Instead of drinking Earl Grey, he's switching it up and going to Darjeeling, and Darjeeling is apparently very different than Earl Grey, hence the joke. That's his midlife crisis, he's switching up his tea. From Earl Grey to Darjeeling. I really want to try some Darjeeling due to that one episode, though. So I'm looking forward to trying some of that in the future. But I have just not really tried a lot of teas. I've only ever tried Earl Grey and like English breakfast and some other black teas that I don't know the name of just because I got them at like restaurants and stuff. But this is pretty good. This is pretty good. I highly doubt it's like the best tea ever. But, you know, it's pretty solid stuff. And I like it. And overall, even as an American, I think this is good stuff. I think the British tea I drank today was pretty decent. Pretty good, to be precise. I didn't mind it by any means. And I'm very glad that I tried some British tea for the first time today. Very glad that I did. And I'm looking forward to drinking my way through the rest of the box. There's 40 packets in here, so it's going to take me a little while, that's for sure, but looking forward to drinking my way through the rest of the box of this, and looking forward to enjoying some more British tea over the next couple weeks or so, that is for sure. Overall, though, good experience today. Good experience. What are my final thoughts on the Twinings Earl Grey tea? What are my final thoughts on my first ever experience with real British tea? Was it a good experience? Was it a bad experience? No, this is a good experience. Would I have this experience again? I think I would have to. Would I buy real British tea myself with my own money? I'd have to say I would. And did I enjoy this specific tea? I'd have to say I did. Would I buy this specific tea with my own money? I certainly would. I like Earl Grey, I'll be honest with y'all. And overall, you know, I just had a good time today. Just had a good time. I can't complain. I can't complain by any means. Well, what's the rating I want to give the Twinings Earl Grey from the UK today? What's the rating I want to give it? I'm thinking like a solid, probably 3.5 out of 4, which is the exact same rating I would give American Twinings Earl Grey tea. The exact same rating. I do feel like this tea might be slightly different. Maybe just a little bit less sweet than, maybe a little bit less honey-like sweet, to be precise, than American Earl Grey, but not significantly. And it honestly might just be all in my head. I would not be surprised at all if it is all in my head. But I do feel like there's some slight difference. Overall, though, it's very similar to what I've tried in the past, and it's some pretty good stuff. And the rating I would give American Earl Grey, made by Twinings, is a 3.5 out of 4, which is a very solid rating. And the rating I'm going to be giving this tea is a 3.5 out of 4 as well. For context, my rating scale goes from a 1 to 4, with 1 being like, this is terrible, never drink this, a 2 being like, this is not my personal thing, but some people might enjoy it. A 3 out of 4 is like, this is pretty good, I'd buy it again, but it's not like a masterpiece, it's not like the greatest thing ever. And a 4 out of 4 is like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever. 3.5 out of 4 basically means this is something that I enjoy, this is something I'd buy again, it's very much of my personal preference, but it's not like the greatest thing in the world by any means. And that's very much how I feel about this tea. I definitely do have faith there's better tea out there, hence why it's not getting a 4 out of 4, but I do still really like this, hence why it's getting a 3.5 out of 4. Yeah. This has been a good time today. Very glad, very, very, very glad to have tried some British tea today as an American cigarette smoker. Yeah, very glad to have tried some. Just going to go ahead and finish this off, and I think I'm going to go ahead and finish off the video as well. Because I think that's just about all I had to say. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have tried British and American tea before, specifically the Twinings Earl Grey. If you guys have, did you notice the same difference as I did, or was it exactly the same? I'm not sure. It might just be in my head. And also, make sure to let me know in the comments down below just what you guys think of the Twinings Earl Grey in general, and whether there's some other teas that I should try in the future. Y'all have any tea recommendations? Let me know what they are. Let me know what they are. I'm not really one for like peppermint tea or like herbal teas and stuff like that kind of thing too much, I'll acknowledge. I like to stick to my black tea. But let me know if y'all have any recommendations. I'd love to hear them, you know what I'm saying? I'd love to hear them. Thank you so much once again to the viewer who was kind enough to contribute this box of tea right here to the channel for me to try to make a video about and to review. I really do appreciate it. Certainly hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video where I, an American cigarette smoker, drank some real British tea for the first time. If you guys have enjoyed watching this video today, of course, please make sure to like and subscribe for more content. I have my Instagram, my book, my merch, my P.O. box, and my second channel all in the description down below. Go check it all out. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Till the next one, stay safe and peace and have a great one. Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying?